Oh, this is good.
Go ahead and sing, Jeff.
Oh, you changed your song.
But you still love this song.
Oh, I love all the songs. I love all the songs. My heart sings, bro. My heart sings. Oh, you waiting?
I'm waiting.
I don't care, man.
I love it.
I kill in the shower.
Chintzy Jones. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, back in the building, another riveting episode of the So What Morning Show. Listen, this is a barn burner. We got a house full of people. I'm telling you right now, get to your phone lines, 323-965-1600. That is the number to dial. Special guests in the building and on the phone. This is a can't-miss show. Trust me. Do you believe me, Jeff?
Brother, come on.
I don't think you believe me because you were late again.
We ain't swung. Look here, okay? I'm getting my lens adjusted for 10:30, okay? My whole world is set around 11 o'clock.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
That little 30-minute hiccup just threw it all off.
Because I got kids that I take care of. I got kids, and I'm responsible.
Don't blame the kids.
You can't just say I got kids.
Okay, year one, you was practicing.
Got kids.
Okay, it's all good. I love you.
I'm here. Okay?
That's true.
You know what the difference is?
What?
Is that I give a shit about this show. Okay? Now, we can go back to I don't give a damn. I get here, you 12, hell.
Then you know I have a secret weapon for that, though.
That's wrong. That's just wrong.
What's my secret weapon, Jeff?
My wife.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'll just call her.
Oh, wow.
Jeff is falling off. He's very disrespectful.
Wow.
He's a racist.
Shout out to my lovely wife.
He hits on one out of every 4 jokes.
I'm a racist. Yes, I'm a racist. I'm a racist, but it's okay because I'm black.
What? Go deeper.
I am a racist. Anybody who is black and not racist is not paying attention. Okay? Have you seen this? Yes, I'm racist. Blame the History Channel. You seen that shit? That shit's for real.
Oh, God. Oh, I love it. I love it. What are you drinking, Jeff?
I am having black Irish tea with localized honey. And
bees from the hood.
Yes, bees from the hood with alkaline water.
I love it.
Yeah, that's how I get out.
You decide to be healthy today. Thank you.
Just today, yeah.
All right, that's today's topic. This is what we're about to do. As is common, you know I like to give you guys some books to go read, go research, go study, add to your book list, because we're trying to stretch your perspective. Hopefully stretch it to the point where it starts cracking and breaking so you can go in and start repairing some of the things you thought were true. So I'm just saying that's why we want
shit you thought was true.
Right. You know it's flawed. Geez. So with that said, and in alignment with today's topics, we've got a couple of books that I want you guys to go get. One of them is called The Enzyme Factor by Dr. Shinya. Shinya. Dr. Shinya. The Enzyme Factor. And then here's another book. As we place the energy drink in the shot, here's another healthy drink. Let's make sure we acknowledge that. The sponsors, indeed. You're not sick, you're thirsty. Now, this is by another doctor, but his name is probably one of the strangest names I've ever encountered. We'll just call him Dr. Batman. Literally, Batman is the first part of his last name. Now, the second half, how do you have a first half and a second half to your last name? You know he ain't American.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? Dr. Batman G-Lee-G-Dej. Literally. That's the dude's name. Just look up Dr. Batman. You're not sick. You're thirsty. That's one of the books that we wanted to feature here on this show today, especially with regards to today's topic. It's going to be crazy.
You need to drop them random consonants off the back.
Really?
Just call yourself Dr. Batman.
I think that's what his fans call him.
That's that shit. Right
Dr.
there.
Batman. You're not sick.
Legal name is Batman.
You're thirsty.
Damn all that. If I'm a doctor, when I'm in the office, nigga, the bat signal is up. The bat signal is in the city.
Really?
Like,
seriously?
Oh my God.
That's going to be your practice.
Any excuse to be, yes, I'm Dr. Batman.
Okay, Jeff Brown, thank you.
Gadgets.
We appreciate you sharing this morning. It's really early, right? Yes. Now, we're going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. I got to take a quick break, but when I come back, I'm going to introduce the topic and the guest. It's a house full. Show's going to be bananas. Trust me. We'll be back at 2.2. Holla.
Music.
Ladies and gentlemen, So What Morning back in the building. Trust me, get to your phone lines right now, 323-965-1600. That's the number to dial. One more time, 323-965-1600. If you're just tuning in, today's topic, a crazy one. Killer food is sick. And listen to this, though. This is one of... Somebody call us right now. Are we being overfed calories and underfed nutrients? Who's in the building ready to talk about this? On the line, we got none other than famous, legendary talk show host, Montell Williams. But we have a brother sitting in the building with us right now, the Waterman, Michael Maxwell, who also wants to chime in on the heat. Michael, speak to us about the issue.
Well, first, I just want to thank you for having me here. This is my passion because I come from a medical family. My father passed away over 30 years ago as a neurosurgeon out of St. Louis. My mother's still alive in New Orleans. She's a registered nurse. So they're good people, but they're trained to treat the symptom. And when I think about it, the pharmaceutical industry, and I'm just going to be kind of blunt, they have a vested interest in us being sick. You see, if we get well, they lose a customer. You know, you've seen those commercials like... we want you to try to stop smoking. We don't want our kids smoking. We have programs to help you stop smoking.
Right.
We're Philip Morris. And when you think about healthcare, Montell says something that's so dear to my heart. We don't have healthcare in America. We have sick care.
That's what yeah.
And when you think about it, we're the only nation in the world that allows pharmaceutical companies to actually be on TV and exploit their products directly to the consumer. You've seen the commercials. You know, are you depressed? Do you can't sleep at night? Well, try this. And the side effects are diarrhea, headache, stroke, or death.
Yeah, death.
Blindness.
And so when I look back on my life, if you talk about relationships, when a person gets sick, it not only affects them, but it affects the entire family. And I've seen this many times. Now, I'm not going to tell you my story, but basically there's two states, ease and dis-ease. And when you look at life, when you talk about sugar, that was the one that had me. Sugar... It's like you said, it's like cocaine. And it's in everything. I read a book, Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. And they being the federal government.
Great book.
I sometimes wonder how that guy is still alive because people who write books like that, and he wrote that book. There was no ghostwriter. In the introduction says, I wrote this book, and it's thick. It looks like War and Peace.
Keith Trudeau.
Kevin Trudeau.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin, one of them.
Close enough. Keith Sweat. I know you think about Keith Sweat, but it's Kevin Trudeau. And again, people like that have accidents. Cars, get crashed. But he's alive. And he said this, the federal government is behind this. And you think about it, what nation wants the masses to live to be 100, 120 years old? And I look at it now. When I was on the sugar, I was obese. I'm 5'7". I was 210, 215.
Wow.
I let the sugar go. I eliminated out of my house, out of my family. I'm a single parent with 2 girls and a boy. And as a single parent, I have a responsibility, not only to myself, but to them. Number one, to me. I mean, if you go on an airplane, you take a ride, every time they have that same speech, right? If there's a problem and that little mask come down, you could be sitting next to your wife with 2 children, your mother.
You got to take care of you.
You got to put yours on first.
Yeah. Let me get to Montell really quickly because Brother Montell is coming with a new television show called Living Well with Montell. Montell, can you expound on what the aim and the vision of this new show is about?
Sure. Thanks so much for letting me talk about this. So what I've done is I'm starting today. As a matter of fact, today was our first episode went up today online. I'm starting, instead of going back to terrestrial or to regular television, network TV, and we all know, you've seen it in the last 5 to 10 years, that we have gone in the direction of reality that's not even reality. Now it's called scripted reality, and it's really fake scripted reality. So it's gotten so far out of hand that I just decided that maybe the best place to get real information to people, information that's not filtered, information I don't have to worry about ratings about, would be to come to you through a different channel, and that's really to come to you the way you like to get your information now, through your smartphone, through your smart tablet, or through your computer. And so what I've now launched, and I launched as of 5 days ago, truthfully, is a brand new community online. It's called Living Well with Montell. And within that community, you can go on right now for the next 2 months. You can get it completely for free. So anybody go up and see our first episode. We have a brand new episode of a show. It's called Living Well with Montell that comes up every Tuesday. And in the vein of the way we like to get information nowadays, you can go up and break the show apart. You can stop it at any point in time and go down the bibliography and find additional information if you need it. And absolutely, today's show happens to be a coincident with this month being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And again, one of those issues that we in the African American community don't pay attention to at all, don't understand that already so far to date. There have been well over 200,000 women who have been diagnosed this year alone with breast cancer. And out of the 200,000, by the end of the year, it'll be well over 400,000, including men. About 1% of that 400,000 are men. And out of that 1% of the men, about 13 to 18% are African American who get breast cancer. And we don't even pay attention during the time that the information is coming out. And right now, women have to stop and understand this is something that has not lessened. You know, it's very funny. We're talking about the ads that are run on television all the time. Isn't it amazing how a male-dominated medical community can run ad after ad after ad about ED, erectile dysfunction, but we don't have ad after ad after ad running about breast cancer and about possible treatments for breast cancer.
Wow.
You don't see them that often. You see 1 in every 50, and we don't even have information coming out there trying to educate women. You know, in the African-American community, we don't even tell our girls to do a self-breast exam, which is one of the first ways that they can finally detect something that's going wrong. We don't even tell us in our community that it's imperative that we take the time on a daily to weekly basis to stand in a mirror. Now, listen, I'm going to say this and watch. It's going to sound funny. Stand in a mirror and look at yourself naked. When is the last time anybody in this panel has done that? But you're not going to know that mole that's on your leg just appeared. You're not going to know that rash on the inside of your leg just appeared. You're not going to know that maybe, one knee is out of alignment. You're not going to know things unless you take the time to look. And so what's so crazy is that I'm trying to provide a portal by which people can get the information, and you're going to get it Montell style.
And what's the website again, Montell?
On breast cancer.
What is, how do they find it? What's the website again?
Oh, just come up on www.livingwellwithmontell.com. And what's so great about this is that I'm going to be also listening to you, the people who subscribe and come up on the site. Tell me the topics you want me to cover, and I'm going to cover. I'll give you an example. 3 weeks ago, I shot a show. I had 60 women in my studio. We broke them into 3 groups. There were women 25 to 40, 35 to 50, 45 to 60. And those three groups of women had conversation about the 3 S's: sex, sleep, and stress. I'm about to shoot the same thing in about a week with 45 men, and I'm breaking those into 3 groups. And I figured, why less men than women? Because, we got a lot of bigger mouths, and lots of guys take up more time and space. So I'm cutting the numbers down a little bit, but we're going to do the same thing again and have a conversation about the way things are affecting us today so that as a community we can share that information with one another.
Indeed. So listen, Montell, we got some callers. Would you mind taking a few callers with us?
Oh, sure. Please. Yes.
All right, so let's do it this way. 323-965-1600. Caller, you're on the line. Zoe What Morning Show. Where are you calling from, and what's your name?
Hi, Zoe.
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, this is Crystal. I don't want to talk to y'all today. I'm listening because I can't get you guys on the internet.
So you just listening. Okay,
and
cool.
I'm at work. So.
That's all right. Don't get fired messing with us. Okay, we're going to leave you on the line,
all right.
And then we're going to go to our next caller. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Get at me.
This Daryl, can you hear me?
What up, Daryl?
Yes, sir, man. Zoe, man, let me tell you something, brother. I'm Daryl. I hit you on Facebook from time to time. And I guess I can back to the young lady. I catch you guys on YouTube, man. But, brother, I'm going to tell you this to all my brothers and all the brothers inside there. I love y'all, man. And you got the black man is number 1.
Love right back, brother.
All right, man. We appreciate that. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the call. And don't forget to go support Montell Williams. Go to his website. We're going to put it back up on the screen where it was a second ago. Go to his website because wellness is listen to this. This is profound. Wellness is a part of relationship maintenance. Most people don't understand that part. They just think it's let's cuddle and canoodle.
Can I make it a little plainer?
Cupcake, as they say. Can
I make it a little plainer? And then I got it. You gotta let me talk to Montell. I love Montell.
You love Montell?
I love that. Okay,
I'm gonna let you talk to Montell,
right.
Jeff.
To make that plainer, if you want your mate to fuck only you, you have an obligation to stay fuckable.
What? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hood logic from Jeff Brown. We appreciate it.
Yes. Now,
Bobby,
brother Montell, can I talk to brother?
You want to talk to?
Hey, brother Williams. This is Jeff Brown, Lance Corporal, USMC, retired. It is it's so nice to talk to you because I know your grind from the Navy. I've read your bio over and over and over long before.
A decorated naval officer,
dude,
Montell Williams.
Not just decorated. This dude here was unstoppable in the Navy. Just you should. I don't want to toot your horn about your military career, but not just in the military. I was just in the military. He was stellar. This dude did a stellar, fantastic job. And the way you told the system to kiss your ass about marijuana, that's the monster bomb. The way he really put it down like that. And
well, you know. Jeff, first I was going to say thank you so much for recognizing, because one of the things that's kind of crazy is that, you know, I don't know if you knew this, but I was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps.
Exactly.
Exactly. I started out enlisted in the Marine Corps. I'm a graduate of the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. I graduated with a degree in engineering and a minor in international security affairs by language at the Academy.
Regular Renaissance man.
I went on from the academy and got a degree in cryptology. I went on and got a degree from the Defense Language Institute in Russian, and then I went on to then serve as a naval officer until I got as a lieutenant commander. And then I started a nonprofit called Reach the American Dream, where I started speaking around the country to kids all over America long before it was vogue to go in and talk to children.
Wow.
I was doing this back in 1988, 1989, and 1990. I spoke to almost 2 million kids across the country in their schools. So, you know, I've been committed my entire life to a couple things. One is giving back. Two is recognizing that it's not a village to raise a child. It takes a community to be a nation. And, you know, from my perspective, man, I mean, you know, I went in the military at a time when it wasn't popular to a lot of other people. And it was, as a matter of fact, you know, we don't say the words we say these days of, I support the truth. Back then, people used to spit on the ground as I walked in front of them.
Wow.
But
wow.
Now we see the transition, and now it's, I support the troops. And you know what? I do support the troops because I'm still wearing a uniform in a sense today. I'm a board member of the Fisher House. I feed our soldiers at the Fisher Houses around the country and around the world as often as I can. It was almost on a monthly basis now. It's every couple of months I go out and I do so. I'm right now working on a documentary with a master sergeant who is Cedric King, who is just one of the most phenomenal individuals. You're going to see this. He's a double amputee, and we don't get to see a lot of African Americans who are double amputees and how well they've been doing. But this man has really gone above and beyond what you can imagine. He's speaking now in churches in the South. He's going to be speaking in his high school. He's giving back. And so that's what we all have to remember. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So when you bring up something about the fact that I am a supporter of medical cannabis, let's get this straight. I am a supporter of medical marijuana, and the reason why, because like any other plant-based medicine, it's a medication that if we had done the proper amount of research on, the way we should have done over the last 100 years, we would find this is a medication that will be efficacious for so many other illnesses, and we could be doing the same thing that the federal government is doing right now, and that's funding research not outside of the United States, but funded right here inside the United States. I don't know if you know this or not, but our government has a program where for the last 38 years it's been growing, studying, dispensing marijuana out of the University of Mississippi for 38 years to patients inside the United States. We funded research outside of the United States in places like Israel and places like London. We have one of the nation's biggest drug manufacturers, pharmaceutical companies. Bayer is the partner in one of the biggest companies in Europe called GW Pharmaceutical, who's about to introduce a completely legal, prescribable marijuana product inside the United States, getting FDA approval as we speak.
So, Montell, let me ask you this.
I'm not asking for anything different than the federal government has asked for.
Let me ask the whole panel this, too, and Montell as well. Do you think maybe, because if we just look at the way they when I say they, I mean the food industry, the Monsantos of the world. Wow. The way they process a product. Do you think they're trying to find a way to process marijuana? And then mass produce it, because I don't think they want people to have marijuana in its natural state where it has all of these health benefits. I don't think health benefits is part of the game when it comes to the food industry. And I think if they are doing this, they're probably trying to find a way to isolate a particular Let me
see. How can we fuck this up too?
Right.
If I can jump in on this real quick, and I don't want to take up all the conversation, but I would just say this is what I've been doing. I'm responsible for 9 of the states that have passed medical marijuana laws in the last 10 years. I've testified before either Congress or Senate or the legislature in each state. I've talked directly to the governors of each state that this legislation has been passed in. And I'm going to tell you what's going on right now is that we've had a product in the United States now for over 30 years. It's called Marinol, which is a synthetic version of THC that was a prescribable drug that was approved by the FDA. There are over 40 drug companies right now applying for the rights to grow real marijuana and do it in the same form as a Marinol, but instead of using synthetic, using the right properties. And I'm going to tell you, there's really nothing wrong with that, and anybody who is a consumer should be applauding evolution and research that makes a product better.
Bobby?
But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only way that it has to be dispensed. There are processes around the world right now. There's a process by which we've now found out, because we know that there's THC, CBD, CBN, CBN1, CBN2. Wow. There are multiple cannabinoids within that plant that elicit different responses. And when they are put together in the right combination, they can actually alleviate pain. They can alleviate pressure. They can alleviate various forms of modalities of illnesses. Wow. And we know that now for fact. So what's going to happen in the next 5 or 6 years, and I applaud this, in the next 5 or 6 years, you're going to be able to receive a blend of cannabinoids that can give you the exact response that you need. For me, I need pain relief in my lower extremities because I suffer from extreme neurologic pain that I get from my ankles, my feet, my toes, all the way up to my knees. I need something that can squash that. We now know that CBD in higher concentration with maybe CBN1 and a little bit of THC drives that into nerves and actually dens the ends of my nerve endings and won't send that signal through. This is now factual. The federal government has paid money to have that research. There's a doctor by the name of Dr. Meshulam out of Israel who did the research. So this is something that's coming. It's coming hard, but
Brother Montell,
unfortunately,
Brother Montell, question, because I can tell you're passionate about this subject because you've been talking. Does the medical marijuana? You haven't had any today, huh? Because see, when I have my marijuana, some of which is medical, some of it is just plain old recreational. I like to smoke it and watch Breaking Bad. I find it
Breaking Bad.
I find that my thoughts get trapped in my head. I'm seeing today that you can go.
It unleashes his thoughts, right?
Yeah, it unleashes his thoughts.
Well, let's put it this way. I think, just like any other form of medication, I only utilize it when prescribed and when I need it. And so I'm going to tell you right now, so far today, I haven't had to. And because I also look at everything from my diet. As I'm eating 75% of what I consume every day is fruits and vegetables to help lower inflammation in my body, which is reducing my pain. I'm exercising and stretching. I'm meditating every day, reducing my pain. And that's what it's all about for me. Now, look, I'm not going to go and battle people who want to use marijuana for a recreational reason. If that's what you want to do, that's on you. For me, I got to be able to walk in these shoes up and down a hallway. And that's what it helps me do, and that's why I use it. But I got to tell you, Joe, I can't believe, man. I wish I could be on this conversation with you for the next hour, man. But I've literally got to run to a meeting. So, guys, can I beg you this?
No, you're good.
We get back together again another day.
Absolutely. We wish you 100%.
And I apologize to those of you who've been sitting back waiting to speak because there's such a wealth of information, Zoe, that you pulled together. I want to applaud you for this. And maybe what we do one time, let me come and find you I'll stick a camera on you and let's put this on Living Well with Montell.
Let's do
have
it.
This conversation and people can look at it.
Let's do it, brother. Let's do it. You know, you're more than welcome to come back anytime, and we'll connect again, and I'll definitely come on and do whatever you need done to further this information and this cause, man. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, brother.
I'm going to make this happen. I'll make this as a promise to you now. We got what, about 1 million listeners? So I'm going to let the 1 million listeners know we're going to have you on the show, my friend.
All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Montell is...
Thank you.
Montell has left the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Montell apparently is Swahili for talk at length.
No, this was excellent. It's not like a syllable was wasted.
No.
He dropped hot monkey lava all across this whole show. I'm gonna let it. Listen, this is for anybody who comes on this show. If you prepared like that to just Gatling gun off a gang of information that's valuable, I'm going to get out the way. 323-965-1600. Killer Foods.
They wore suits. They got some shit to say.
No, listen, Bobby is here now. Bobby Glanton. Margo is in the building. Yeah. Michael the Waterman. Mike the Waterman.
Mike.
Yes. Yes. My brother over here, Adonijah. He's here. And, of course, Dr. Mark Goulston. Let's get back into it. You wanted to make a statement, Bobby. What was your point?
Well, first of all, I got to applaud what this brother has went through, Montell Williams. You know, he was fit as a fiddle, and then he was stricken. And much of what he's dealing with is related to acid in the body. And Brother Adonijah is going to elaborate on that more extensively. But when he mentioned erectile dysfunction, it's just like with a headache. In this country, if you get a headache, they immediately prescribe medication. In Japan, for example, if you get a headache, they want to know what caused the headache.
What were you doing? Did you eat a crab shell? What did you do? That's what they want to know.
And the reason that becomes important as it relates to this subject matter, when men get on medication, one of the first things goes is the sex drive. All right, I'm 59 years old, and I've never been on medication. I was headed in that direction until I met this brother about 10 years ago, Adonijah. And Adonijah told me very pointedly, he hasn't consumed flesh in over 30 years, and he hasn't been sick in 30 years.
Yep.
And since I, happen to like women, and I realized...
You put that out there. Go and put it out there, Bobby.
That I was at that age where you start having these issues that everybody associated with age, and it wasn't so much age as what I was putting into my body. And I went over to this brother's home, and in his backyard, that was his medicine cabinet. Because he grows food, first-generation food from all over the world. When I say first generation, I mean Monsanto, and nobody has anything to do with that. And one thing Montell said that we need to take a very close look at, they're getting ready to create the next cartel. All right. If they allow the pharmaceutical companies and companies like Monsanto to control these new ideas, then we're going to be on that same wheel that we were on before.
Margo?
Yes.
Do you have something to add to what Bobby was just saying?
Well, actually, everything I see everything fitting together like a puzzle. And it definitely, of course, I get into the relationships, so our diets are affecting our relationships. Monsanto's, of course, is in bed with whoever is really running the government, and they're here to stay. But there's one thing that I definitely want to talk about as far as, I know you mentioned the sugar earlier. Now, the one thing with the sugar is it's not just like cocaine and just a sense of how it looks and maybe it's addictive. It's actually molecular. It's molecular structure. It's only one molecule away from being...
That's right.
From cocaine?
Cocaine. Yes. And I definitely have struggled with sugar addictions of my own. I'm weaning myself back off of it now, but I'm doing my CKLS cleanse too. So it's important that we detox as well when we're...
Well, wait a minute. When you say CKLS, tell them what that is.
CKLS is it's a colon, liver, kidney, and spleen cleanse. You can look it up online. It's very good. I like to be on it for a couple months at a time when I do it. It's good for us to do also seasonal cleansing, and a lot of times people forget about that. Even if you're eating right and you're eating a lot of good things, you're still getting a lot of environmental toxins. When you have stress, you also produce, toxins in your bloodstream, and it causes disease and illness. And so we have to be aware of also our stress levels. But the food can produce stress. It's already been proven that eating McDonald's, if you eat a McDonald's or, I don't know who we're going to get in trouble for saying this, but it is the truth. It's been proven
McLucifers?
Yeah, exactly.
McLucifer.
Eating fast food, watch out for fast food. Exactly, it is McLucifer, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
They got those Grimace burgers and stuff. Make you grimace.
Grimace.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing about the food is it actually causes people to become suicidal. It causes suicidal thoughts. That's, and this actually is happening. Yes, suicidal thoughts.
Okay, listen, now I have to divert
fast food
to the white man, because black people be fantasizing, creating all type of myths and conspiracies.
All right, Negroes, pipe down.
Let's go to the authority, the only doctor in the building. Doc, is all of this menagerie that you were speaking of true?
Negroes with your tomfoolery.
Please shut it all down. Tell us that McRibs are fine.
Oh my God.
I had one for breakfast, and I am feeling a little bit suicidal here. But it might be the company I'm keeping.
It could be that long Montell Williams thing that's got you wanting to slit your own wrist. I know I was fighting the urge to open a can of Campbell's soup and shake out all the soup and take that jagged edge and run it across my throat and kill myself. So go ahead.
Stop it, would you?
Now, something I wanted to say to Montell, because I was on his show a few times in I think the 90s, and
he didn't give you a chance, Doc.
Well, it's okay. I love his energy and his passion, but so I'm going to throw it to the people.
He was awesome, though.
I'm going to throw it out to everyone here, because I think the issue is people don't do what's important; they do what they care about. And so how do you get people to care enough to do what's important? It's important to me to eat well, but I don't care enough about it to eat that well. And I can remember when I was on the show, on Montell's show, he and I were allies, because you'd have these incredibly stupid people, who just fighting common sense. And I don't have an answer to this, but how do you get people to care enough about something, especially when initially it's going to deprive them of something immediately gratifying and sweet and whatever? How do you get them to care enough to take that plunge? So I want to open it up to anyone here.
That's a great point. Go ahead, Jeff, and then Bobby.
Okay, I have an answer for that, and I'm going to try to keep it short. I went to, unfortunately, he's one of the preachers of L.A., but he is quantum physics when it comes to spirituality.
Noel
Jones.
Noel Jones?
Noel Jones. He said,
really?
Miracles are when God breaks his own laws. That's what a miracle is. Okay? When God, the law of gravity is God's law.
I will smack Noel Jones in the mouth for such a foolish thing.
Okay, well, I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay, please help me, Jesus.
If you obey more of God's laws, you will need less of his miracles. I know so many black people that know they know that McDonald's, I said it, McLucifers ain't shit. They know they ain't supposed to eat pork. They know they're not supposed to have lard and fried chicken constantly. They have the unmitigated gall, the audacity to say grace over some food they're about to put in that is going to destroy them. You cannot. I love your optimism and your hope, Doc. But some folk just gonna goddamn die.
I wasn't hopeful.
Let them.
He said I wasn't hopeful.
Let them. On that same topic, I think that black people and niggas should be separated, and niggas should be declared their own race. They should be marched to the edge of the earth and kicked off. I really believe that there are certain people you can tell them all of this. You can show it right to them, and you know what? They will, like women do often. They will kill your logic with 3 words.
What?
Yeah, but still. With all the shit you just said with yeah, but still.
Yeah, but still. Bobby, one second, because I want to get the brother Adonijah in here, because he has not had a chance to say. I need to know, what in the hell is a food product or food like? What is that? When you see that on the cheese ingredient on cheese,
Kraft cheese product,
kind of cheese, maybe cheese. If that's in the ingredient, what is a food product or food like? What is that, Adonijah?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me to sit here.
Absolutely, brother.
What I'd like to address, first of all, is the idea that we are calling something food. Because the truth of the matter is that the food that exists on the kitchen tables today isn't the food that exists 200, 300, 400 years ago. So where did it come from? Who fashioned it? And why did they fashion our food to be a certain way? So it's evidence here that we do not have to look too far for the answers to those questions because they're right in front of us. And that is, our food is a product that has been fashioned, and it is no longer what it was yesterday. So the USDA does not even label the food that's in our markets that are grown on industrialized farms as food. They label it as food stuff. Something to resemble food. Something, it might smell very similar to it. But it isn't the food that we once lived on many years ago.
Great point.
I see that. I'd like to make one other point, and that is, I see that there's a very, very serious issue and that is, we have a lot of problems, but there's only one answer to solve our problems, and that is change.
Right.
If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same answer. So what we need to do is change how our belief systems are fashioned and try to find out what exists before that. So what I like to do is to share with you that your change can come from your environment immediately around you, because you still have sun, you still have land, and you have water, and you have seeds. And the answer is to become self-reliant, become sustainable, and create as many environmentally friendly places that you can.
But Brother Adonisha, it's difficult to do that when bling, materialism, status is more important than health. Health and time are the two most valuable currencies on planet Earth. But when we spend our health and our time chasing a dream, chasing a fantasy, chasing a fictitious status.
Shout it what your name is.
Right. So we live short and we live hard and die fast. That's what's happening. I mean, we just got to be honest. Now, you made some points that are very valid. But what I find, meaning in our current cultural construct isn't worth as much as that which is superficial. And the reason why I say that, I'm going to come to you, Bobby. The reason why I say that is because meaning is difficult to grasp. Like, for instance, Miles Davis, Kind of Blue.
My son named after Miles Davis.
First and foremost, Miles Davis has been considered, not Miles Davis, but jazz music has been considered the most complex and refined form of music there is. It has even replaced classical music because of what it was born of and then the technique that is required for it to be executed. Now, is it the number one selling music?
Of course not.
No, because dumb shit is. See, this is why corporations say, keep it simple, stupid. Jazz music is complex. If you sit down with Quincy Jones, he goes, did you see that progression? You see how that progressed from here to there?
Melodies,
did you hear the melody? What's going on? You see the layers? Yeah, every 8 bars change into something, but keep the bass line static, but then change the melodies and the movement on the top. When you hear music like that, first off, people can't relate because we're dumb as a culture. If I'm going to keep you dumb religiously, if I'm going to keep you dumb politically, why shouldn't I keep you dumb nutritionally? This is no different than Hitler when he says a bunch of useless eaters. That's what the population is. You look up the word population from the Latin word, populoso, the masses of unlearned animals. That's the business of government. Government is to keep you stupefied and dependent.
Hey, watch this.
So if you are stupefied and dependent, why should you live long? This is why the Rockefellers' major agenda is population control. And this is why the rest of the world has... Why America only has 300 million people, but China has 1 billion? India has 1 billion.
With less
Africa, and Africa still has 700 million, even though all of the atrocities and AIDS and HIV, they still got 700 million. Why America only got 300 million people? And why the rest of the world and their food industries are watching our food industries and the children that are born out of it like a movie, like a horror flick? Bobby, go deeper.
Well, if you give the propaganda to the proper goose, you can need a wheelbarrow to take all the money to the bank.
You ain't gonna get away with saying that one time.
Wow.
Say that again.
If you give the propaganda to the proper goose, you'll need a wheelbarrow to take all the money to the bank. Now, something Dr. Goulston said a minute ago is real important. If you find the why, you'll get to the how. Now, you mentioned jazz and the fact that it's not as popular as it should be. But there have been times where there's exceptions to that. You remember that song, Don't Worry, Don't Be Happy?
Bobby McFerrin.
Bobby McFerrin is still a jazz artist, and that song was jazz and blues based. The simplicity of it got past the barriers, because music speaks louder than words. It's the only thing the whole world listens to. But the people who control what you hear, that's where the issue is. So as we reconstruct this new world paradigm, the focus has to be on the why. Because if you touch into that, you'll give people reasons to make the necessary changes. Right. For example, if you tell a man, do you want to maintain a sexual relationship with that woman that you hot for, you're going to have to change what you eat. And in exchange for that and what you drink, you get to have relations with that woman whenever and wherever you want to.
I want to get a hold of that.
Lovely relationship.
How long do you think it's going to take that man to push that hamburger back?
Absolutely.
How long is it going to take him?
Right.
But you have to give him that, you have to saturate him with that message.
You can eat burgers or you can eat Sheila. Which way you going?
I'm going to eat Sheila.
I'm going to eat Sheila.
Margo.
Well, a lot of times I think that people don't realize that they don't associate their illnesses with what they're putting in their mouth. And they don't also associate their attitudes and their behavioral changes and even their sleep patterns and everything else, pain in the body on their diet. And we have to start really looking at it and stop, sticking our head in the sand and pretending like we don't know why we have this cancer growing on the back of our neck, or why we have these whatever is going on with our bodies.
Wow.
So I think it's time for us to really get more serious about that. And really, people should really start becoming more interested in what's going on with their bodies and what they're consuming is doing to them emotionally, physically, destroying your relationships, family relationships, business, everything. And I think that at the end of the day, it's time for us to really start caring about ourselves more, and it does come down to a self-worth issue.
That's interesting what you
if you're worthy,
present.
If you know you're worthy, you'll take better care of yourself.
That's a great point, and I want to build on it and present it to Mike the Waterman and Dr. Mark Goulston. I want you two to deal with this question right here. Is the food we eat a reflection of our mentality or vice versa? Do you understand what I mean? Like, are we just poor, disheveled mentally, and now it's okay to eat a McRib, or it's okay to eat whatever? Because or is it a financial thing? Because what I find is the real good food to eat is really expensive, and the real cheap food or accessible food, a hamburger, they got a 99-cent menu. They ain't got no 99-cent menu in Whole Foods. Now, Jeff, that's for Mike the Waterman.
I disagree with that.
And Mark Goulston. Goulston?
I don't eat where you guys eat.
Tell me.
I have my own Mexicans that grow my food.
I try to give a lot of thought to how do you get people to resist an impulse that's real strong. Because that's what this is about. It's very tough to resist an impulse that's strong, especially when you see everybody else giving into it. So tell me if you think this particular diet would work. And I recommend it to people. And this is a way to eat better food. What I've discovered is a lot of people go off their good food and good exercise after they've had a recent close encounter of the worst kind. Wow. After they have met with someone who just ripped you apart, it's the last thing you want to do is deprive yourself because you've just been leveled. So here's the information I give to people to try for 30 days and see how it helps your diet. Take out a sheet of paper, and down the middle of the sheet of paper, put down a vertical line, and on the left side, no one else will see this, list all the people in situations that give you energy, and after you leave them, you feel like taking better care of yourself, and you feel like life is hopeful, and you need to thank those people for being on that side. And on the right side, list the names of the people that just suck the life and hope and joy out of you. And
I ain't got but one of them.
Make a commitment to minimize your contacts with people on the right side, and get rid of some of them if you can, and to maximize how much time you spend with people on the left side, and be sure to thank them. And see what that does to your diet and exercise.
That's awesome. That's an awesome concept. However, I believe that some of the people you're trying to get rid of is like getting rid of textbooks. Because a lot of the people that are in your life in that way have something to teach you. And if you spend most of your time trying to get away from your lessons, those lessons now become reoccurring, manifesting themselves in different relationships.
Look, we're on a radio show, and here's one of the issues I have about passion unrestrained, and you got to do this on a radio show because everyone will fall asleep listening to it if you don't. But
hysterical.
I think you got to. You're right. Our best teachers talk with us. They don't talk at us. They don't talk over us, and they don't often talk to us in an intellectual way. They talk with us. When we are in the midst of wisdom, we are just drawn into it. We can't get enough of it. So yes, our best teachers we need to listen to, but it is tough to listen to someone who's talking at you or over you. And even
unless you're Bobby Knight and you're turning this kid into a blue chipper who's going to take you to the NCAA tournament, the championship, and then go on to the NBA, and then come back and say, all that shit talking you did to me and all that berating made me the man I am. That's why I'm a champion. Mike?
You know, when you look at the media right now and you watch TV, 1 out of 3 commercials at night, all of the commercials about the fast food, fast death. Now, when I was growing up, I never really got into McDonald's, but I sure like fried chicken. I come from Louisiana.
Come on, I'm from Chattanooga, so I understand.
Come on.
I mean, I like to eat and I like to cook, but here's the thing.
This is Roscoe's Media Center.
Chicken and water.
What a 3-pointer from downtown.
When you talk about self-worth, it's a mindset. And I like what Bobby said. When a man has a real power with a woman, when he has a good relationship. I was taught by a guy in Sacramento. It was a guy named Bishop Foster. He said, a personal relationship can be the most beautiful thing in the universe. But turn that coin over, it can also be the most detrimental.
Exactly.
And what Doc said is so powerful that when you're coming out of something, food is fun. Food is comfort food. I mean, it's a stress reliever. I used to use it as a stress reliever, but also as a reward system. And my problem was that I would eat at night and I would overeat. I just love to eat. And what I found out is that it was literally, I was eating myself to death. I was living to eat instead of eating to live. When I met Adonna John and Bobby, I started to look at the different things I was putting in my body. They would say, was I really caring about myself? And I found out that there was another foundational problem that we had, and that's why they call me the Waterman, the water that we drink. Now, for me, the foundation to life as we know it is water. There is no life without water. When they go to another planet and they say, is there life on Mars? They look for water. And water is essential to life. And a lot of things that we talk about with Monsanto and some of the things that are going on, the water in America, if you really take a look at it, you got to wonder, what have they done to the water? You look at our rivers and streams the way, like he said, the food that we eat today is a food product. You know, it's
food-like.
Yeah, it's foodish. You know, it's like brown and brownish.
Right, diet food.
Brown. Yeah, diet.
Diet food.
What is the first syllable of diet?
Die.
Thank you.
Let's go on and kill ourselves. Go ahead.
I've been on every diet in America, me and Oprah. And you know what? You lose 10, you gain 5. And I found out that diets don't work, period. But lifestyle. We have lifestyle-related diseases, and people think that they have health insurance. They don't. They have sick insurance. Just like life insurance, it's really death insurance. They changed the name so that it's marketable. Bobby said it best. It's all about the money, period. And when I look at the water in America, especially bottled water, I was involved with companies like Sparklets, Arrowhead. I had the route truck. I did reverse osmosis, filters, filtration. Worked for over 16 companies over 24 and a half years. And I thought I was drinking really, really good water because I'm the water man. I mean, I used to be the water boy, but I grew up. And when I look at what I was drinking, I'll give you an example. Most bottled water is reverse osmosis. It's a different process than distilled water, but it's the same product. It's been stripped of its life. It has no minerals, no calcium, potassium, no sodium. All the minerals have been taken out. So now it's what you call very dead water. The Japanese call it dead water. If you look at the Japanese, you know, they live longer than any country in the world. And we're not talking about Tokyo where there's McDonald's now and trucks and cars have been industrialized. We're talking about places like Okinawa.
Osaka.
Yeah. Osaka. That's where I went last year, exactly. I went to Tokyo, I went to Osaka, and I went to Okinawa. Okinawa is where they live longer than any country in the world.
Yes.
Women first and men. And when you look at their diet, you look at how they eat, they have a very simple diet. They don't overeat. Americans are overeaters. We love to eat. I have some kids, a couple daughters, you know, we're hungry. After leaving hometown buffet for 2 hours, how can you be hungry? It's not about being hungry. Our kids don't know what hunger is. It's about the essence. You want me to look up there?
No, Mike. I was just trying to tell you. Somebody's asking, where do they get the water then? So somebody said, so where are we supposed to get our water from?
Well, the technology that we have is out of the hospitals of Japan. It's called life support water. And I've been on it for about 7 years. And before that, I'm not going to tell you all the things I had, but I had a lot of dis-ease. Okay? And it all led from this. You are what you eat and drink. And water is the foundation of health. So I created a blog, and I'd like for you guys to check it out. Put a lot of energy into it. I had a team of people, a water expert. We have some doctors and some people, writers, and people from all over the world that put money into this blog. And it's called LAWaterAdvisor.com. Once again, that's LA, like Los Angeles, LAWaterAdvisor.com.
Look here, man. Is this where I can get the water?
Nope.
You done told me all the other water is bullshit. This is beginning to sound like an infomercial. God damn it, I'm thirsty. I want some of your damn water.
Now, where the water at
It's
now?
behind you, Jeff.
All right, how much for one of these damn gallons?
You know,
You got to talk to me about this.
All right, then. Hell.
Jesus, now we want some water
You
now.
told me the sparklets, man, ain't shit.
Avion.
I can't boil this shit. I can't do shit. You better drink a beer. Don't drink no water. Water ain't shit.
Avion is naive spelled backwards.
Right?
I have something to add.
Margo?
Yes, no. Concerning the water, a lot of people I know are into the alkaline water nowadays, and you know, it's alkaline water this, alkaline water that. And the funny thing about it is that people don't know that it actually loses its effectiveness. It drops off just like when you juice. You're losing it by the second, but people are buying it bottled in stores. It's like the biggest gimmick ever. And the thing about it is so crazy, and I don't understand this.
I gotta drink it at the place. I got to drink it right at the place. How much water would you like today? 3 gallons? No, I'll have a glass.
That's right.
I just need a glass. And get a glass for my kids and my wife, and then we gone.
Or get smaller containers and get those filled up. That's right. But listen, let me tell you more about this. Now, as far as the alkaline water goes, this is the funny thing about it. I don't understand this for the life of me, why people can think that they can consume all these acid foods that cause a lot of acidity and mucus in the body, and they think they're going to drink some alkaline water
and just cure it,
make it all better. You know, eat an alkaline diet. That's the whole point of this thing. Alkaline is things that God made, things that grow out of the ground, not things that are made in laboratories and, you know, synthesized.
I think
but isn't that what a GMO is?
That's right.
Yeah, that thing Obama signed. GMO. Oh no, you I'm sorry, did I drop something? Yeah, a name.
The clumsy chemist.
Yes. I think the concept we have the concept reversed about cure. Where we need to be is creating an atmosphere where no disease can live.
That's right.
That's the move.
Hey, you guys are messing up big business now.
I'm gonna talk to you. I got a big ass backyard. Ain't shit but cats and my kids playing in it. I'm finna move all that.
You know what I'm saying? You guys are messing up big business when you talk about people living longer and better.
Now, Jeff hit on something really, really important. How did we end up growing so much grass when we could have been growing living food? That right now, in the city we live in right now, Los Angeles, they've announced just the other day that we got another water shortage.
Of course.
A whole bunch of people going to be out in their yard this afternoon just watering their grass and their ornamental plants and whatnot. And it's by a stretch, they could not get to the grocery store. How much of that grass can you eat?
Wow, you can't eat none of it.
That's first thing the dog go eat.
Why are we growing so much grass?
That's a great question. 323-965-1600. We got callers. Caller, where you calling from? What's your name?
No, I'm still. It's Crystal again.
That's just
okay. Stay on the line, Crystal. We don't want to get you fired.
Crystal just
Who
left
next?
the office.
Caller, where you calling from? Don't get Crystal fired. Caller, you're on.
Hello, are you guys there?
Hello,
Yeah,
we here.
You there?
Oh, I'm sorry.
St. Louis. I wanted to speak to the foods that we eat. I know that I struggle with hypertension throughout my first pregnancy, and I did everything right, and it's very disheartening because you don't know what to do to fix it. I was no longer drinking. I was no longer smoking, and I still couldn't get rid of this hypertension. So my second pregnancy, I decided to try things a little differently and actually figure out what is wrong with me. And the only thing that I could figure out, it was the foods that I was eating. After I delivered the baby, the pressure didn't go down, and the doctors will tell you that there is nothing wrong with you. This is perfectly normal to have high blood pressure, and it's not true. I'm only 31 years old.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
And they're internal medicine doctors, so that's all they know. I stopped eating just out of paranoia. Stopped eating. Oh, wow, my pressure's going down, but I'm just not eating because I'm stressed out. So totally cut the meat out of my diet. Totally went to raw food, and my pressure went down.
Wow.
It's hard. It's hard, but I had 2 kids, so it was easier for me. You know what I mean? But when you're dealing, and I think that Bobby made a good point. You know, you have to be saturated with that message. We're saturated with the message that we don't have to be healthy because you can just take a pill for it. So the same way that they pump that Viagra commercial every night, what if they promoted a commercial that said, hey, fellas, if you just stop smoking, you can make love to your lady, because trust me, if you're not making love with your lady because of ED, you're going to be having a stroke.
Yeah, because many brothers are too busy tongue kissing a hoagie.
Right.
You know,
my point is, though, is that they teach you, like you go to the foot doctor or you go to the nose doctor, they don't teach you that everything in your body is integral and is connected. So if you're having ED problems, you probably have some kind of problem with your cardiovascular, the blood. So it's also not going to your heart and other places. I'm pretty sure that most guys that have had a stroke, they probably had issues down there before, but they don't teach you that. And a lot of doctors, it's not a conspiracy all the time. They're just internal medicine doctors, and they'll say there's nothing wrong with you, but I have a pill to fix you, and it's really sad. But you gotta let the meat go, and you gotta eat foods that are indigenous to your culture. Eat foods that are for you. You know. My mother-in-law is Korean. She doesn't eat American food. She eats Korean food because that's where you're from. So you have to figure out what's the best food as a black people for you to eat. We can't eat Italian food. We can't eat Korean food. We can't eat Greek food. What do black people from wherever you think you might be from, what do they eat?
Yeah, where's she calling?
Well, you know what? We really appreciate you hanging on the line, and we really appreciate you sharing that information. That was great. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, more callers, more guests. The topic is off the charts right now. And then we're going to find out where Bobby, Adonijah, and, of course, the Waterman, Mike, where they get this magical elixir.
Yeah, because they ran here today. They didn't even drive.
And wasn't even sweating when they got here. Jesus. We're going to find out all this when we return. So what mornings? Callers, we'll get to you when we come back.
Eat it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show back in the building, the dopest morning show in the world. Who's brave enough to cover the topics that we cover? Killer food has been today's topic, man. My question is, I got questions.
Okay. Well, Uncle Bobby got answers.
I'm just saying, if she was a dime when y'all jumped the broom.
Oh, yeah.
And then later on morphed into a Fatosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Can you then cheat on her justifiably?
No. Cheaters cheat. No. But you can fire her ass.
Would it be mean to be like, you got to get your big, hefty, greasy...
Yes, it would be mean, and here's why. Because here's a word that is killing black women. Thick.
They think thick is cool. No. Well, skinny thick is nice.
Well, here's the deal. Here's my rule. If you get naked and nothing moves, then that's good. Okay? If your clothes is holding you into that shape, okay, a lot of these cats that like these thick
If your clothes are a barrier.
Here's the deal. And I get it. I don't get down outside of a certain weight class. My wife has a flat stomach and a nice butt, and I've been exposed to big ass with no stomach, so I can't go back. I can't go back now. I've been exposed.
Reverse time travel.
But here's the deal. That's hilarious. But here's the deal. Most of these brothers that are attracted to these thick women, by the time they get them to the house and in the bed, the lights is out. And these girls are magicians. They on some Doug Henning, David Copperfield shit. You don't see them go to the bathroom. You don't see them go get nothing out the refrigerator. The next time you see them, they got a muumuu on covering all that shit up until they get back into those clothes that make them like this. Take a good look at some of these women naked.
Let me tell you something about
Margo.
You know what? This is something that I see all
Bobby.
the time, but
fellas,
this is something very interesting.
By the way, Margo, nothing moves. Good Lord. I don't know. I don't have firsthand knowledge, but Jesus Christ.
No, you can tell. You can see it.
So sweet.
She's skinny thick.
Oh, my good Lord.
Skinny thick?
Yeah.
Skinny thick.
Curves where they belong.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Immovable.
I've gained weight at different times, but, thank goodness it wasn't too dramatic. But
she's 6'2". She's, Jesus. Just
oh, my God.
long and taffy like. Go deep. The only reason why we doing this because you know what it is. You know the fans love you on camera, so it's camera time for Margo. So we get to ogle.
They keep asking.
They want me to stand up and spin around, or somebody keeps asking.
What type of?
Trust us, fellas. It's good under the desk. Oh my Lord, Jesus!
I hugged her one day, and it's
I'll tell you what.
It was more of a growth. But go deeper, Margo.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. He's lying, y'all. He's lying. Okay, but this is the thing. A lot of women, and this happens in different age ranges, but depression, and actually the food can bring on depression as well. And once people become depressed, and especially women, we hold the weight. It's
Margo, can I ask you this question?
Yes.
This happens all the time.
Yes.
How many people have their woman with them? Because I've never experienced this with a guy. I've only experienced this with a woman.
Okay.
I got a headache. I'm mad. I'm angry because I haven't eaten. To me, I see that as some type of addictive, craving for something.
Yeah, withdrawal.
Like I got a migraine or something going. I don't know if that's. I've seen that for many years as I've grown up. I never thought that was normal. I mean, I've been hungry before, but I've never come down with a headache.
Yes.
You're a woman. Can you speak to that? Is that just some PMS food connection?
I think
don't
there's
know.
food. I think there's environmental. They're spraying all these different things in the air. We're breathing it. We're eating it. If you go home and you're getting into bed and you're not taking a shower before you sleep, you're bringing all these toxins into your home.
That's just
and your
trifling.
bed. It's trifling. And, the headache can be coming from actually some food that your body, because actually when you eat things, there are intelligent bacteria and intelligent, parasites that develop in the body. And they are very intelligent. And if they want you to eat more sugar, they're going to give you these symptoms and make you eat more sugar. You're going to eat it because they want to live. They want to continue to live in their intestines and have babies and incubate. The only way they're going to be able to do that is if
they try to take care of their family.
They're going to command you to eat that thing so they can live. So we got to be careful of that.
That's dope, Bobby.
Something Jeff said got my attention that I just wanted to speak on. People have different body sizes, different body styles, and it's not always a reflection of whether they're healthy or not. I'll give you an example. The brother named Fielder that plays for the Detroit Tigers. He looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy, but he's a vegan, and he's extremely healthy, but he's big-boned. I'm not big-boned. Michael is big-boned. But we can't always just look at the visual
Go
of a
deeper.
person.
Please go deeper, because I don't understand the concept. Doc,
how come ain't no big bone people in Rwanda?
Is there?
Well, they done starved for several generations. That's one thing.
Can we go deeper into the concept of big boned? Ain't they regular skeletons just covered with extra fat? I'm just...
And don't be confused by the extra DED. That happens a lot.
Big boned.
Big boned is the same thing as BONED.
No, I want him to continue because he's right. I mean, there's some people just have different body sizes and their bodies hang on them differently. But and continue.
Well, it's really a question of health. If you're healthy, all right, again, example, Arthur Ashe looked like the picture of health. And you would have never suspected that he had heart trouble first, and then he, allegedly
HIV and
had HIV, and that's what.
Well,
took
he
him
needed
out.
a blood transfusion.
So a lot of times you can look at people and they look physically fit, but it depends on what they're putting into their bodies. We're finding out now that a lot of the athletes who are specimens on the outside, but they breaking down. A couple years ago, during the NBA Finals, a guy who has the ultimate body, LeBron James, could not play because he was dehydrated.
Yeah.
And during the timeout, what were they running? Sports drink commercials that he was featured in.
So should my son be drinking Gatorade and all that?
Never, ever. They don't even drink. Serena don't even drink that garbage. They
What should
promote
they
it, but Magic Johnson does not drink Pepsi. All right, if he did, he'd be dead already.
Yeah.
They just came out a couple of weeks ago. It might have been on Dr. Oz's show, matter of fact, where they said you increase the possibility of getting pancreatic cancer, which is a death sentence, 87% more likely that you will come away with pancreatic cancer if you drink sodas.
Really?
87%.
And they make you fat, too. I know people who cannot lose weight. They make you gain more and more weight. If I look at people and they say, I'm having trouble gaining weight.
Wait a minute.
What are you drinking? They drinking sodas.
What about those sodas that are zero, like Coke Zero and Sprite Zero? What about those sodas?
You have zero chance of survival.
Exactly.
They say there's no fat, no sugar, no carbohydrates, nothing in there.
Exactly.
It's nothing. How can that hurt you?
Read it. Is anything growing out of the ground in there? If you can't go and get that out of somebody's backyard, whatever the ingredients are in there, and if they tell you what all the ingredients are, then you
here's one of the ingredients: aspartame.
Aspartame.
If you need a lab coat,
MS. Aspartame causes MS.
There's no food that requires a lab coat. Okay,
That's right. That's
if you can make some, you can't make shit with the ingredients of banana pudding except banana pudding.
So can we agree that high-grade food, right? Not GMOs, genetically modified organisms, not all of that. Just high-grade food. Can we agree that high-grade food is medicine?
Absolutely.
Adonijah?
Well, we can agree, but we can also set examples of proving it. It has already been done in many cultures, and that is, you take the Hansa people. The Hansa people live in the Himalayan mountains where they are receiving the water from all of that snow that's coming down from the mountain. Now, 70 miles from them is a village that doesn't drink from the same stream, and they have a whole different diet. The Hansa people up until 1920, they were all basically vegetarians. They had fruit orchards, garden beds. I mean, a very beautiful society. Now, the culture down the 70 miles away from them have already been infiltrated with Islamic culture, so they had a different diet, and they also drank from a different stream. The Hansa people, when they were first discovered in the late 1870s, 1890s, they were living to be 140 years old. And the women were having babies up to 80 years old. There's a book called Rational Fasting and Mucusless Diet that tells about this story of the Hansa people. Now, the people down from them, they had disease by 70. They didn't appear to be very happy, and they're very violent. Now, and that's basically what I believe, that through our environment, we can create change. In other words, you address the issue of what makes people change. I don't know. You're talking about the why. What I see more than anything else is the example. If a person cannot see that an example, it isn't going to happen. In other words, this: if a person eats, have a very healthy diet, and he display health, he feels healthy, he's energetic, and people witness this over a period of time, it is definitely going to have leave an impression in his mental factors. Now, if a person in a neighborhood starts planting trees, eating fruits, and a person sees him picking a fruit every morning, a basket of fruit out of his yards, but he's driving to the supermarket buying fruit. Then the person share that food with him, and he tastes that apple.
Woo!
And then he tastes the apple that he is buying from the supermarket every week. Nothing. Believe me, that man would plant a fruit.
You know what? And that is a hell of a point, and it's also connected to the point Dr. Goulston made about people doing what they care about. Now, this is how I see it. Doc gets mad at me because I'm passionate and I yell and I scream and I'm angry. I'm angry.
Well, you got a right to be angry.
I understand. Yeah, my people being persecuted.
Right to be hostile.
Right. But for me, I look at it like this. Food, especially the food industry, to me, runs on a platform that is no different than the cigarette industry. Cigarettes, they use nicotine to get you addicted, right? The food industry uses food-like stuff in things. They use MSG.
Never trust the word.
MSG is a flavoring which comes in 50 different names. So it doesn't just come as MSG.
It's monosodium glutamate.
It's all types of names, right?
It's supposed to be pig semen.
But let me just tell you this. I don't want to hear about a nasty little pig jacking off on a candy bar. I don't want to hear that.
Sorry, to throw that in there.
His Snickers got just the right amount of pig jizz in it.
All the Lay's potato chips have it.
No, but what I'm saying is there are guys, like Jeff said, in a lab coat, engineering food for your brain and your limbic system to respond to become addicted to. This is why sugar ain't no different than cocaine. And then we say, oh, well, we ain't going to buy the big white bag of sugar, but you're still eating croissants and donuts. And now they got a croissant and donut together. What type of devilish deliciousness, right?
I got cheese.
So my point is, there has never been a time in history where there's been so much food and so little nutrition.
Well, the good news is this. The next trend is the wellness revolution because of my cohort, people between 45 and above. The needle has always moved in the marketplace since we've been on the planet. When we were babies, Gerber got rich, okay? And now what is happening is with people in my age group, we've arrived at that point where some of us have money and some of us don't, but we have one thing in common. We've gotten sicker. And our children have gotten sicker. And their children are diabetic at age 10. All right, so it's not just a question of whether you want to do something or not. It's the quality of your life. You can't show me one person that looks forward every morning to getting up and looking at that pill box. And the range of side effects they go through during the course of the day. Now, what they do is they manage to get through that. but they're not excited about it. So what you're doing on this show today, Zoe, is historic and hopefully game-changing, because once people begin to get the information, you can only do what you know about.
But see, Bobby,
and so much of what people are exposed to is the exact opposite of this information, and what we're doing today is giving them another look at some possibilities.
But see, y'all fronting on the source of the water. Y'all ain't told us where y'all get the elixir.
Well, see, it's because it's not. No. It's deeper than just the water. It's a mentality. See, the other book that you recommended earlier, The Enzyme Factor.
The Enzyme Factor, yes.
Dr. Shinya, and Michael is a great expert on it. Explain to him the significance of water and the proper diet.
Well, thank you. Water is essential for assimilation of nutrients. You got all these cells, 7 trillion cells in the body, and they're like people. They're like fish. They eat and they poop. And the eating part of it, the nutrition that we're talking about, you've got to get that nutrition into the cellular level. That's assimilation. Then you want to remove the waste out of that cell. If you have a fish tank, like an aquarium, I had one as a kid. If you don't never change the filter, never change the water, after a while, they start to swim a little crooked, and then they start to float. And so what do? You don't take them to a hospital and take them to triage and still give them medication and put them on pharmaceutical drugs. What do? You change the water. And if you do it soon enough, those fish will come back to life. If you wait too long, they'll die. So when it comes to water, and you look at the bottled water industry, you talk about, when you go buy that bottled water on the shelf, how long has it been sitting there?
I don't know.
6 months to a year.
Ingesting the chemicals that are actually in the plastic bottle.
But the plastic itself is a petroleum-based product, and you got dioxin, methylene chloride. But if you leave it in there too long, you're going to have leaching. But here's the point I'm making. We talk about soda. They've just taken soda out the public school system. Give that a hand.
Yes.
Now, soda is a double negative. It has the sugar, and it's very acidic. And anytime that you're acidic, you're a breeding ground for diseases. Hence the other book. You're not sick, you're thirsty. Most Americans are dehydrated. And they say, well, I've met people, I don't drink water. I don't drink water. Well, what do you drink? They go to Starbucks. You're drinking lattes and coffees and sodas and juices. And you know what? Your body is about 70% water. Your blood is 90% water. Your brain is 80% water. Even your bones is 13% water. We're water creatures. We're like the earth. The earth is 2/3 water, so are we. The earth has every mineral from A to zinc, so do we. So when you look at the bottled water industry, what they've done, they've taken out all the minerals that are essential to health. Now that water becomes aggressive. If water doesn't have something to give to you, it's going to take from you. If it didn't have calcium to give to you, it's going to take it from your bones, from your teeth. So we have a lot of osteoporosis in America. And think about this. And here's my why. Bobby touched on it. The diseases that we attribute to aging is now affecting our children. The Attorney General made a statement that years ago just changed my whole perspective on what I do for a living. I have a great passion for what I do. I grew up in Hammond, Louisiana. I grew up what you call Po. Not poor, Po.
Po.
We couldn't afford the
Po is.
We grew up with kerosene lamps. We had a wood stove, a wood heater. We had an outhouse. We had a pump you had to prime. And that outhouse was scary at night, I'll tell you that. But we
make you hold it till in the morning.
Yeah, you have strong bladders, strong livers. And you see, when we went hunting and fishing, it wasn't for sport, it was for food. We grew up in the country, like they say, we were hunter-gatherers. There was no electricity. I grew up that lifestyle. We had a foot tub to take a bath in, and miraculously, if you put a scrub board in, it turned into a washing machine. But you see, that gave us roots. The water that we got out that little pump you had to prime, that was well water. It wasn't contaminated with all the chlorine and all the chloramines. In 1984, November 1st, they stopped using chlorine. They switched to chloramines. What they did, is chlorine was so bad from organics, dead things that commonly occur in water, like leaves and organics. It caused a family of carcinogens called trihalomethanes. So when they did their research, they said, okay, this is bad. Let's lower the level of chlorine by 50%. We'll add ammonia. Now, if you're a homemaker, and I'm a single parent with children, if you're going to clean your house, you're not going to take bleach and ammonia and mix it.
No.
You got a problem. That's a poison, right? That's what they put in the water, parts per million. And they give out a warning. I have it at home. They say, if you're on dialysis, don't drink the water. It can hurt you. If you have tropical fish, it'll kill them. But it's okay for your kids. So that's why I had a passion. But see, I was selling the wrong thing to the right people. I was Culligan Man. I was Sparklets. I was Airhead, Multipure, Equinox. That's why they call me the Waterman. I worked for over 16 companies. I was selling the wrong thing to the right people. Families. Most of my clients, over 2,000 are families. They're talking about mother, father, sister, brother. And see, when you talk about a family, what you're looking at is the foundation of health has to be water. Because if you're eating right, but you're drinking wrong, how is that nutrition going to get to the 7 trillion? Even, I used to think breathing was more important than water. If you don't believe me, try to hold your breath. But guess what? When you get that oxygen in the lung, how is it going to get to those 7 trillion cells? Through the bloodstream, 90% water. So the water we're talking about, how do you get it? Go to lawaterdvisor.com. There's no selling. There's no company. This is all generic. This is through a water expert and a doctor and a lot of other experts. What it is, it's content, it's information. It talks about bottled water, about well water, about tap water, about some of the things. And my passion is this. The Attorney General made a statement. And listen to this carefully.
Wait, say that again, that website?
lawaterdvisor.com. That's a free site. And when you get there, click into the webinar. There's a series of webinars, and these are very educational. One of them, the first one is called The 3 Things You Should Know About Water. And there's 2 other ones. Watch the webinars. You have to register. And I tell you something, it will change your life. But going back to what the Attorney General said, he made a statement. If you listen carefully, if you have children, if you're a parent, listen to this. The #1 killer of our children in America, 14 and under, is cancer.
Cancer?
Cancer.
Cancer. When I heard that, I don't know how that affects you. I don't know how you feel about that. But when I thought about that, I've got children. I've got 3 children and grandchildren. That's not okay with me. That's not acceptable. That the diseases, heart disease, childhood obesity, childhood diabetes, the diseases that we attribute to aging is killing our children. And the question is this, what are we going to do about it? It shows like this. I'm going to tell you something. You have no idea how grateful I am. I didn't sleep last night. I was excited. I probably won't sleep tonight. Because if we don't take care of our children, who will? And we first have to take care of ourselves. And that means that we got to stop living to eat. These fast food restaurants, you know, one of the things I look at, watch the TV commercials. People have these big screen TVs. The media is in on this big time. Because I was trying to lose weight one time. Now, trying is a failure word. I was trying. You know what really, really made it hard? Watching TV. I'll go back to those Burger King commercials. Aren't you hungry? Aren't you hungry? Aren't you hungry for Burger King now?
Hell yeah.
Now I'm looking at that big screen, 40-inch TV. I'm looking at that hamburger. I say, yeah, I am hungry.
And then a mug. I'm hungry as hell.
But I found out diets don't work. Period. They don't work. In fact, it's big business. Now think about a gym. You go join a gym, a health spa. They sign you up. And it used to be where you had to have a 1-year membership. You know, you had to lock you in. You know why? 95% failure rate. 95% of the people that go to a gym, they don't go. Now, I was in a gym. This is a while back. Gold's Gym. I had a membership for 2 years. Guess how many times I went? Anybody?
7.
1. The time that they gave me the tour and I signed up. You see, I was looking for that program.
And you never came back.
Never went back. Too busy, too this, too that. And here's the thing. I was waiting for that membership where somebody does all the work, but I get the muscles. Americans are lazy and we're overeaters, period. Think about it. I've seen people that hire people to walk their dogs. We're lazy. And so it goes back to this. Water's #1. Without water, you're going to die. There's a book, too. It's called, we call him Batman. I can't pronounce his name.
I can't either. I saw Batman in the name, though.
I think, I'm like
Dr. Batman.
That's what we call him.
Right.
But Dr. Batman has a book, and I urge you to go get it. It's called You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty.
Right.
The majority of people in America are dehydrated. And in that book, he talks about the type of water we're talking about, life support water. And think about this. If you're dehydrated, it's the open door to all diseases, period.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, the next thing is being over-acidic. And the next thing is free radical damage. That's aging. That's rusting. That's where you look at a person and say, dang, how old are you? You know, how old do you think I am? You don't want to know. So if you want to slow down the aging process, if you want health, go to lawaterdvisor.com and get the information. Get the knowledge. Because I used to believe this lie. I used to believe that knowledge was power. It's not.
It's the application.
Thank you. Knowledge plus proper action is power.
Yeah.
And when you have the knowledge and you use it, because, you know, everybody says, what's your why? You got to know your what before your why. Your why has to sit on that what. And what do you want out of life? Because if you don't have your health, you ain't got nothing.
Wow. Callers, you're on the line. We've got a caller now. Let's hear it.
How's it going, y'all?
What's happening?
I can't call it no more, man. I really can't. But I had a lot to say. I wanted to talk on basically just about what Waterman was saying. I'm a college student at Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland, from California. But I don't know. I guess the problem that I'm having is that sometimes, I know for me being a college student, a native of California and being in Maryland, it's making it very difficult for me to be able to access basically access the things that I need to stay nutritious. And I guess the issue that I'm having is that, like, I've been making lifestyle changes. Of course, I cut out soda, I cut out juice, and I got water. But I guess the problem that I'm having is that, I mean, for the people who've made these lifestyle changes, I feel like it is kind of unfair to say that, hey, now that you're drinking water, you're not drinking the right water. Now that you're eating fruit and not eating chips, you're not eating the right fruit. This may be true, but I think that it's one of those things where it is a step and it should be something that should be commended or recognized.
Pat yourself on the back because you tried to do the right thing. I understand what you're saying.
We're just adding information. For example, Mike was eloquent and very meticulous in the way that he broke things down. I'm going to take it all the way to the corner. We full of shit.
I get it.
We're full of shit.
What'd you say? Come right up the street, Jeff?
Yeah, come straight up the street with it.
Yeah, we're full of shit.
You as full of shit as a Christmas turkey is full of dressing.
When Elvis Presley died, he had 42 pounds of fecal matter in his colon. Damn. All right. Most time when you see people with big bellies, that's a storehouse for what didn't take the whole ride. All right. But if you eat something this morning and you still got it the next day, think about that for a minute, because I know a lot of people who still eat red meat or any live chicken, whatever.
Dead.
If you set that on the side, well, what is it going to do? Right. It's going to decompose. It's doing the same thing in your body. Right. So for those of you who really want the what and the why, you're full of shit and you need to get rid of it if you want to live.
That's pretty simple, ladies and gentlemen.
And brother,
Jeff,
I understand, in the words of Zoe Williams, how you may be a little butthurt to get this news that what you did was sort of in the right direction, but not enough. I don't understand why this doesn't come to you as good news, because you, like myself, took some step towards where you want to go. Here's somebody standing with a map and a detour sign going, yes, you're going the right way, but you need to make a left here. And you're going, you know what? Fuck you and your sign. And I don't understand your energy. I don't understand how you can be upset about somebody telling you, okay, you're doing the right thing, but you need to do it even righter. Please,
but you know what?
Please explain that.
Jeff, he's gone.
Is he? Okay, please think about that and call back next week.
Yeah, he's gone. But this is what I want to do. We have one more caller, but I want to go to the doc to sum up the menagerie of information that was all laid.
Absolutely.
It was a clusterfuck. And the doc is now
keeping my sheepskin out of this tomfoolery.
He's burdened with the task of making it all make sense. Can you wrap it up for us, Doc? What did we try to do here today?
Well, we tried to wake up people who aren't woken up, and you just woke me up. I was having a good dream.
Doc, you're doing pretty good with the jokes.
Look, I come at it from a different angle, and this show is normally about relationships, and I was thinking, wouldn't you agree that when you're frustrated, it's tough to take care of yourself?
Yes.
Great.
And wouldn't you agree that one of the main sources of frustration in our life is when we feel much more talked at than we feel listened to? And wouldn't you also agree that part of what's happening to society is more and more people are talking and fewer people are feeling listened to? I'll add a little biology in this, but it's slightly different. There's a bunch of neurochemicals in our heads, and some of the things that drive us are adrenaline, which makes you feel powerful, dopamine, which makes you feel good, endorphins. If you exercise, it makes you feel content, and the chemical that is dying is something called oxytocin, and that's what makes you feel close. That's why a lot of men and women do not feel close to each other. That's why a lot of women come in to see me and they say, I have lost my warmth. I can't feel, I'm a woman, I can't feel warmth towards my kids or my boyfriend, and I don't like what it's doing to me. And I think my feeling, and as to the why, and I'm going to run this by you, is I think, and Mike, you might want to try this with your daughters. You might want to say, I need your help. I need your help to do something that's good for me, but I don't want to do it. And what would motivate me is if you did these things that were good for you that you don't want to. And the why I want you to do that is I need your help. And when I have that impulse, when I see I'm going to do that thing that I'm going to regret, when I picture the two of you doing that thing to make you better, it's going to help me back off. And so that's my why. We can overcome almost anything. And I think what's sad is that a lot of lip service is paid in this world, but the we is disappearing, and what you have is a lot of us victims. So I know that's a different angle to this whole thing.
No, it's not. It's right there.
It's important, yeah.
Well, you know...
Wait, hold on, Bobby. I'm sorry. We have to acknowledge
We have to acknowledge this level of ignorance.
And we're going to have to wrap it up, too. But before we do that, there's a level of ignorance going on in the chat room. They said the only real water that I'm going to drink is Margo's bath water. And then the next one said, her sweat can heal psoriasis.
Oh, no! That says it.
I've never heard anything
But get your ass on a treadmill.
But here's what's interesting about that diversion.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Here's what's interesting about that diversion. The person that wrote that is probably drinking a soda right now, and if Margo walked in his room, he'd be excited, but his member wouldn't be.
Whoa! Way to close out, ladies and gentlemen. The closer.
Took a shot at your ding-ding.
Because you got to understand something. At the end of the day,
wow,
all of the things that docs say are reactions to what's happening in terms of what we done put into our body.
That's right.
How you gonna feel good if you done made your body sick? It's just not gonna happen. You gonna feel bad. You gonna have more than the blues.
And a lot and there's a lot of men who are having trouble keeping up in the bedroom. It's the funny thing is to choose it when someone who's healthy chooses a mate who is sick. And now, especially if you take them
it's your job to take care of me now.
You got to take care of them when they're not being responsible for their health.
Well, look after my dang-dang. Give me a few minutes. It's going to take me a minute.
And they broke. Okay,
take
it's
me a
one
little
thing
something.
take care of somebody that's sick and rich.
Just work with
You
it.
sick and broke?
Yes.
Oh, my God. I'm changing the diaper of somebody that got a damn driver's license? This is bullshit.
What if
Here's
you're
something-
sick, broke, and ugly?
Now here's something about that ties into the affordable health care nonsense. You are rich now, okay, today, and you got a $2 million insurance policy. You got a 401k that's fat. You develop a catastrophic illness. All right, you hit that $2 million maximum on that insurance policy. The hospital just gave you the sayonara because the money done ran out. Your 401k has now been put in play to cover all of these exorbitant medical expenses that you can no longer deal with.
$75 pillows.
Oh, my God. So people need to understand, you might not think it's a big deal now. Get sick.
Wow.
Get sick.
Wow. Don't get sick.
That's the real deal.
You know what? Today's show was awesome. I really appreciate my esteemed panel. Again, I really try to create a forum for people to discuss, have fun, be entertained, and be enlightened. That's the whole get down. It's like Real Time with Bill Maher meets In Living Color. Right? We try to merge the two because, nobody wants to sit around and listen to a boring lecture on something, but we also want to entertain you, make you laugh, and really make you think, make you toss and turn later on like, man, I really heard something that changed my life. So that's the purpose of this show, and I appreciate all the callers and all the guests, who participated. What I'd like to do now is go around the table so everybody can tell everybody who's listening and who will be listening after we upload this show, where they can find you and how they can participate in your movement. Because that's what we got to do. We got to intersect movements. We got to intersect, whatever this brother is doing, it's a movement, and I want to be a part of it. But his movement also got to be a part of mine. And I think that's the whole purpose and the spirit of this show. So with that said, Bobby Glanton-Smith.
Okay.
Where can they find you?
You can find me at realmendon'tplay.com. I have an ebook out right now by that same name, Real Men Don't Play. The audio book will be out next week. And the A-team of brothers that I write about, and they're not all black, are men who live by example, who set a high standard of excellence in the way that they comport themselves day to day. And this is part of my A-team that I brought in here today. And my goal is to make sure that the next generation of men and women are exposed to the highest models of possibility.
Wow.
So you can also reach me at Glanton on Twitter, and that's me.
Wow, thanks. Mike, the Waterman, talk to us. Where can they find you? How can they participate?
Well, like I said, having gone to Japan and see where the people live longer and in the world, it's all about preventative. It's about wellness, not about sickness. So you can meet me at my blog, and I get its education at lawateradvisor.com.
lawateradvisor.com. This is a call to action. Get there now. lawateradvisor.com. Yes?
And when you get there, put in your information. Put in your email address, your phone number, because it goes directly to me. I will contact you, and we will get you some of this water. We don't sell the water.
You get it to them for free?
Well, when we can. But what we're going to do is show you a way that you can have control of your water in your home.
Wow.
The same way when I grew up in the country, we had well water. My grandfather grew a garden like Adonijah. And those people, my grandfather, 101 years old, my great-grandmother, 98 years old, those people lived a long time.
Wow.
And we need to look at what we've done.
Margo, they'd like to know if you have an Instagram.
I do have an Instagram.
Please tell them.
Life. Destination Love Life is the Instagram, but it's down right now. I'm having some issues with my social networking, so we'll be back on Instagram and Twitter soon, and my main Facebook.
What are your handles?
But you can go to destinationlovelife.com eventually. That's coming.
What are your handles?
I know. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, at Destin Love Life is Twitter. We're coming back soon, and Destination Love Life on Facebook. And also, I am the Love and Relationship Editor at beautycomeforth.com. Love and relationships is my passion. Health and healing people is my focus, and I'm dedicated to it for life. So join me on this journey with Destination Love Life as we grow. But check out the article. It's called The Relationship Detox, and a lot of people need to read this article because it's important for men and women and your children.
Great. Brother Adonijah.
Yes, people can reach me on my email address at John, initial A, Harrison, the numero 77 at yahoo.com.
Give it again.
One more time.
John A. Harrison, the numero 77 at yahoo.com. And I'll be very much able to help them understand the true nature of life through plants. And maybe there's a way that they can receive information on seeds to help them even get started.
We didn't even get to Monsanto and them demons. But Dr. Mark Goulston, where can they find you,
You
man?
can reach me at Heartfelt Leadership. It's a community of people who dare to care. It's around the world, heartfeltleadership.com. Also, I have a book called Just Listen, which is being promoted at Kindle for $2.99 for this month, and that reached #1 in Germany, China, and Austria.
Excellent book.
So pick that up. And I'm speaking at UCLA for the National Alliance of Mental Illness tomorrow, Wednesday night, 7 to 8:30 p.m. That's a free public lecture. And if you check out NAMILA.org, you can find out information about that.
Wow. Jeff Brown.
I'm going to be shooting.
Oh, wait, Jeff. Hold on 1 second. The other book, Real Influence, please tell them about that real quick.
I have another book called Real Influence, which is how do you persuade people without being pushy. We interviewed over 100 people about how do you get people to do what's good for them.
Great book.
Great book. All right, Jeff.
I'm going to be shooting dice at the old Magic Johnson's Starbucks right after this, drinking a Red Bull with some Ciroc vodka. But in between that time, go to Mixter.com for some of Jeff Brown's incredibly ignorant ringtones. We will be playing some next week.
They are. Hey, listen, Zoe what? I am ZoeWilliams.com. You can go there and get my book, The Rebirth of Seeds. You can buy my T-shirts. I have all kinds of T-shirts available. My books, everything. Listen, you got to support us. We got to support each other in order to keep this movement cracking. So support everybody who's here, everybody, and let's meet back here next week with another heater. Trust me, it's going to be another crazy topic. I appreciate everybody. We'll see you next week. Deuces.
Wow.